Morning. So after I reviewed the ergocentric chair a few months ago, it turned out a few people actually started buying it because of my video. So, in a very random sequence of events, I have been invited to the Ergonomics conference in Vegas.
What's up, YouTube? Coming to you from the Expo in Las Vegas. It's the night before the hottest ergonomics conference in the world, the Ergo Expo. We're going to check it out tomorrow. There's going to be chairs, there's going to be more chairs, there's going to be tables. There's not going to be neck pillows, unfortunately, or maybe there will be. Who knows? We'll find out tomorrow.
What's up, guys? It's 7:30, we're up, we're ready to go. The first thing after registration is an included continental breakfast, so looking forward to taking advantage of that. All right, let's go.
Oh, I didn't see you there.
I was going to ask to get this changed to influencer, the broken arms, but I thought it was probably good. We just finished the first talk, which was building an effective ergonomics program for remote field service workers. The reason we went to that was like, oh, it's about remote work. And my main takeaway from that is that a remote field service worker is not a remote office worker. So we got a lot of information about how when workers are sent out to repair grease traps and Starbucks ovens, they should use proper lifting techniques. So I've learned that we should be more careful in trying to understand whether a lecture is relevant before we attend. Let's go to the next one.
So let me thank OMCT and Ergocentric. They're our platinum sponsors this year. And it could be a negative one.
Okay, we just had the keynote speech, which dealt with the future of ergonomics. It's interesting to hear about exoskeletons and how they can be used to help people with heavy lifting or with mobility issues. But he advised some caution in being too enthusiastic about them because there is no long-term studies yet on whether using these might cause other muscle stresses because your body's compensating in ways that we don't understand yet. But what he did say was that if you are a young, hungry ergonomist looking to get into the field, to follow your passion, and also for the older ergonomists that are leaving the field, to try and influence the younger generation. And that's what I'm attempting to do. Also, super annoying is these little things that rattle, and so the whole time you're listening, there's just like this sleigh bell effect all around you as everybody fiddles with them. Anyway, that aside, the exhibit hall is now open, so let's go check it out.
Armrest fully articulates. I thought this was supposed to be like this.
74. So
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, if we go over here.
but I want you to kind of flex the spine. It's almost like you're leaning forward to like tie your shoe this way a little bit more. There you go.
That was awesome. I just had some active release therapy or technique on me, and I feel about 2 inches taller, which means I'm going to bang my head into even more shit. I've come from the future to have my arms ergonomically supported. Wow.
Swing this out more.
Anyone ever tried to use these for typing? That would be very lazy. There's actual more legitimate use cases. Surgery, factory.
We'll get a 33% muscle reduction activity in the biceps and up to 18% in the shoulders.
Okay, it kind of holds you back a bit.
It can hold you back, right? And then for people that are taller, a little heavier, right? We also offer 6.5-pound springs.
Too much.
Yeah, exactly.
So that was kind of fun. It just felt like my arms were sort of floating in space. Felt like a gangly Terminator. So for now, we're just having some lunch.
Call that a knife? This is a knife, apparently.
And then afterwards we'll dive back into it. That one was ergonomic office design, practical tips for excellent outcomes. In that one I learned don't put monitors in front of people so they can't interact with people unless those people specifically hate other people and want the monitors to be in front of them, as was the request of some people. Have it so that if you turn to one side, you've got some free desk space from where you can talk to people and have meetings and stuff. Don't use sit to stand desks that you plonk on top, just buy standing desks. Now on to the next one.
One that says, are you sure that you really want to delete that 700-page thesis that you just finished? And I would be like, thank you, Windows. No, I do not want to delete that.
Hot takes from the last lecture, which was, are they lectures or are they talks?
They're sessions.
Sessions. They're sessions. Which was universal design and diversity, equity and inclusion. And the things I learned from that is that USB-C is better than USB-A, because USB-A, you never know which way you're trying to put it in, but USB-C just always works. This really sounds like I learned nothing at this one, but I didn't. It was interesting, but I'm just sleepy. So let's hit the last one, which is going to be pretty interesting. It's casino ergonomics, which is high stakes ergonomics. Let's go.
What's your option?
Back to the exit.
Social influences along many physical influences. Table is a huge table. There's a lot of leaning forward.
We've found the liminal space in between the walls of two different conferences. So let me do my thoughts on the last session, which was casino ergonomics. Once again, we thought that was ergonomics for punters about how to keep their bums on seats for longer and like comfortable and everything. Obviously, it was nothing to do with that. It was about employee ergonomics. So we learned how to improve the ergonomics of the dealer tables, but also particularly for hotel cleaning staff. One of the things to take through to my day-to-day practice is to become a sheet walker rather than a sheet whacker. If you're a sheet whacker, you make your bed laying the sheets down with a violent flicking motion. A sheet walker, you very calmly and ergonomically, sanely get the sheets and walk around the bed, putting them all in place slowly. And that will prevent these snapping motions to your wrists. Probably not an issue for most of us day to day, but for hotel workers, don't be a sheet whacker. Alright, that was the end of day one. My favourite part was probably getting into a Terminator exoskeleton. Well, not really a Terminator, but the Terminator if their arms were moderately supported. My least favourite part was where Tina started freaking out before we went into the sessions in the morning, worried that there wouldn't be free coffee there. And I said, if they're going to have one thing there, it would be coffee. And so we had to stop and get some Starbucks before I got all the coffee inside. Me with my wild hot takes on the bad boy of the ergonomics influencing industry. Time to limber up and get ready for day two. All ready for day two. Some of the things that I'm interested in: the keynote, integrating artificial intelligence for optimal workplace design, and the keynote tomorrow is ergonomics in the age of artificial intelligence, so they're going all in there. I will be interested to see how they manage to shoehorn those two concepts together, but everyone else is doing it, so sweet. Something I'm definitely not going to see is the intersection between Lean Six Sigma and ergonomics, a success story. I think we'll leave that one. But there's also 2 talks on exoskeletons today, and so that is now my area of expertise, having tried on one yesterday. So let's go. Last keynote was supposed to be integrating artificial intelligence for optimal workplace design. A little bit of controversy. Someone was supposed to be coming in to give the keynote today, and their company actually withdrew permission. So there was a bit of a scramble in the last month to get the keynote together, and I didn't actually get much about how to use AI in optimal workplace design. It was more like a run through of what AI is, with a lot of slides saying Did you know that Adobe uses AI and even Microsoft? But it was a great effort for last minute. I had monitor arms at home. I had a double, but I switched to a single. But with this one, as I understand it, I could have just converted that.
Yeah, so this little T right here in the middle, all you're going to be purchasing is that connector.
I ended up using my laptop for a second monitor anyway, and then this would have been really nice because now I have the laptop taking up space on the desk again. So.
What happens in a lot of cases, people are using their laptops and they're a smaller screen and they're using that as their primary monitor, which is an absolute no-no. Yeah, so what you want to do is always try and use that as your secondary. So the laptop stand is monitor arm, but what we've done is converted it with the laptop tray. You can take that off, and here's the seat, yeah.
And then I went to the bathroom, but it was still too painful, and then I had to go home. And that was the last time I was at Wet Republic at Mandalay Beach. Anyway, so that ends the Ergo Expo for 2024. I learnt some things about ergonomics, particularly about exoskeletons. My main takeaway is that I would like to make some kind of exoskeleton for my neck. Because one of the things we learnt is that you need to identify your own personal ergonomic risk factors. And some of mine are rolling over when sleeping, because I always pull my neck, travel, breathing, and generally being alive. And thanks very much to Ergocentric for bringing me along. That was a unique experience.
You shill.